Hi, I'm Adam.
I'm Laura.
And welcome to our Survival Guide for Change workshop. This is workshop 4 of 5 of ways to cope with change. Today's session we focus on staying connected and changes in relationships. The workshop is suitable for children of 10 years and above. We would recommend that they are supported by an adult or carer throughout the workshop. Children under the age of 10 may not be able to work through the workshop by themselves. Some of the strategies they may find quite difficult. However, adults and carers are more than welcome to watch the workshop, work your way through it, and look at adapting the strategies that could be used in a more suitable way for younger children.
Okay, so I'm just going to explain how this is going to work. Adam and I will talk you through some information and different strategies. You'll then have a go at being able to practice these strategies for yourself before we move on. The way you're going to do this is by using the booklet, which you can find next to the workshop. If you don't have a printer though, not to worry, you can just look at the booklet and complete the activities on paper. So a couple of things that you're going to need for this workshop is going to be the booklet, as I just mentioned, potentially some paper, some colouring pens and just some ordinary pens. As I mentioned, after each strategy, you'll be able to pause the video and have a go at doing it for yourself, but most of all, just make sure that you have some fun.
Okay, so let's have a look at some of the aims of today's workshop. So by the end of the workshop today, you will be able to understand how changes in relationships can impact on us. You will be able to understand how to cope with changes in friendships. You will be able to stay connected with others whilst at home. And you will be able to stay connected when you go back to school through transitional objects. So, if we're ready, we'll begin.
In session 3, we discussed the importance of staying well with both our physical and emotional health. And we also talked through looking after ourselves by using self-care. We're now going to discuss another really important factor that is sometimes forgotten about when we think about looking after our health, and that's social connection. Social connection is the experience of feeling close and connected to others. Research shows that connecting with other people is important for our physical health in lots of ways, but is also important for our emotional well-being, because people who connect with others on a regular basis are less likely to experience high levels of anxiety and low mood. Research also shows that people who connect with others have higher self-esteem, so feeling good about things and themselves, and are able to show understanding towards other people's problems. Social connection does not have to be face-to-face. Speaking with friends, people in your class, or family members, online or over the phone and via apps, is all part of social connection.
Over time, as friendships grow, we learn what makes a good friend, and we will naturally look for those qualities when we make new friends. Friendships are an important part of social connection, and good friendships mean that we are more likely to have feelings of belonging. Feelings of belonging is a human emotional need we all have to be an accepted member of a group. So just as we have human physical needs, such as needing to have food and drink, we also have emotional human needs to belong and be part of a group. Friendships also increase feelings of happiness and confidence. If you are shy or prefer to spend time with a small number of friends, don't worry. It doesn't matter how many friends you have on social media or the amount of clubs you attend. It is the quality of these connections. Friendships and what they mean to you is important. So for example, some of you might have a few close friends that you enjoy talking to and spending time with, but some of you might be part of lots of different friendship groups and have friends in lots of different places. What is important is that we surround ourselves with the people that make us feel happy, supported and confident in ourselves. Let's turn to page 31 and have a look at another activity. On the page you will see a jar. We'd like you to write down what you think are good qualities to have in a friend and add them to the jar. On the outside of the jar, write qualities and things that aren't so great to have in a friend. You can now pause the video and complete the activity. Once you're ready to move on, just press play. Welcome back. How did you find that activity? Here are some of the ideas that we came up with for the qualities that you might see in good and bad friendships. So some qualities you might look for in a good friendship are supportive, caring, kind, trustworthy, honest, respectful, don't often get jealous, fun, loyal, non-judgmental, a good listener, helpful, funny, and forgiving. Some qualities you might see in unhelpful or negative friendships might be jealous, argumentative, put you down, controlling, spread rumours, lies, judgmental, hold grudges, stop you from having fun, unsupportive or negative. Brené Brown is a researcher and author who speaks about the concept of marble jar friends. The idea is that good friendships are built over time and you add to your friendship piece by piece. This doesn't mean that as friends we don't make mistakes or are perfect all of the time. We actually learn a lot from friendships and relationships with others. Part of building a good solid friendship is being able to say if something has hurt your feelings and giving the other person the opportunity to see things from your perspective and then repair the relationship. So, you learn over time who your marble jar friends are. They are the friends that add positive things to your friendship, and this involves some give and take from both of you. Can you identify who your marble jar friends are?
We're now going to talk to you about how our relationships can change over time. So as we grow, our relationships will change. So each year, for example, we progress through school, we meet new people, we have new teachers, new people in our class, and we adapt to getting to know each other. Our friends can change for many reasons, and this is a completely natural part of life. So for example, if you attended a nursery, you might still have a few friends who you know from there. If you went to primary school and then moved up to secondary school, some of your primary school friends might still be in your friendship group, but you might have also met new people and lost some friends along the way who went to maybe other schools. The most important thing to remember though is to surround yourself with friends who make you feel good and encourage you to be your best self. We're now going to talk you through how you can cope with changes in your friendships. Sometimes changes can cause friends to drift apart. This is something many people go through, but it can still be tough to deal with. There are several things you can try to do to cope with changes in relationships. Firstly, you can talk about it. Let your friend know how you're feeling about the situation, and you never know, your friend may be feeling the same way too. Stay positive. Try not to blame anyone for the changes in the relationship. Instead, try focusing on each other's strengths and what you can both do to improve the friendship. Give them space. If your friendship is really bringing you down, you may need to take a break and spend time outside of the relationship. You could try a new activity, a hobby, or something else that interests you to take your mind off things. If your friend has moved on to other interests or met new friends and doesn't want to continue your friendship, remember that this is common and that friendships do change over time. If this does happen to you, it can be upsetting. Sometimes friends agree to stay in touch if one of them is moving away, or if you're going to be attending different schools or colleges. But when the time comes and they meet other new people, they may no longer want to spend so much time on their previous friendships. Remember to try and stay positive, as we've just discussed. There may have been times in the past, or there's likely to be times in the future, where you do not want to continue with a friendship because you've moved forward to something new. There are some other things you can do to help manage this change. Express yourself. So as we mentioned before, consider writing your feelings down in a journal, singing, dancing, creating art, or doing something else you enjoy. Meet new friends. Look for peers who you'd like to get to know better. You may even find yourself growing closer to people you already know and building on those friendships. When you meet new friends, remember what are important qualities, as we've just discussed. We're now going to talk you through how you can stay connected with those close to you. So sometimes when we're apart, distance can cause a wedge with friendships and make it harder to stay connected. If we can't physically be with our friends, there are some things that we can do though to stay close to them. So for example, you might want to share a funny or silly video that you found with a friend. You might see a meme that you want to share with them that you feel is going to make them smile. You might want to talk about a book, a TV programme or a film that you've both recently watched. Or you might want to share some artwork via apps. Why not even have a go at having a virtual boys or girls night using technology? One important thing to remember though is that different people will have different preferences with how they wish to stay connected. So for example, I might feel really comfortable in having a video call with somebody, but a friend might not feel so comfortable being on a video call. The key is to try and find something that you're both happy with to stay connected.
It's also really important to stay safe when using technology, websites or apps. Here you can find some useful links with information for parents, carers or young people to have a look at. Next, we're going to talk you through circles of support. Everyone faces challenges from time to time. Even in times of change, when things feel uncertain or we feel alone, there will still be people around us who love and support us. We may not always be able to deal with things alone, so asking for help can help you to deal positively with your problem. In your booklet on page 33, you will find a diagram called the Circles of Support. It starts with you being in the middle, and we want you to think of people who support you. Within the inner circle, place the people who you would go to first if you needed help. Within the outer circle, place the people in your life that you may be able to go to for support as well. It's worth remembering that you may talk to different people about different problems. So for example, if you were having a problem with your schoolwork, you might talk to a teacher. But if you were having problems with a friend, you might talk to a parent or older sibling. Give the activity a go, as it will help you identify those closest to you and who is in your circle of support. You can now pause the video to complete this activity. When you're done, just press play.
Welcome back. Sometimes you might need a little bit of additional help from other people, and that's okay. But there might be times when you don't feel comfortable speaking to the people in your circle of support, or the people in your circle of support maybe aren't best placed to help you with the problem that you have. And there are lots of different organisations out there that can help with various things. Have a look at some of these now.
Sometimes it can be really difficult when we are not going to see someone we are used to seeing a lot of. This may be going to school and not seeing your parent or carer, finishing school for a long summer holiday and not seeing your teachers, or spending time away from your friends. Transitional objects can make this easier for us, making sure we have something to remember people by and creating fun memories. This can be used at any age and adapted so that it suits you. You may wish to choose a small object that reminds you of someone, such as a small stone that you found while out on a walk with the other person, that may have a nice colour, texture, or an interesting pattern. You might have made friendship bracelets with your friend, have a keyring or picture of you both together that reminds you of something fun. Whenever you pick up the object you choose to use, think of the nice things you have done together.
I'm now going to talk to you about something called negative ions. So, going for a walk, particularly to beauty spots, the beach, or a forest, can help with our mood during times when we may be feeling low. One of the reasons for this is because of something called negative ions. Negative ions are molecules with extra electrons in them. We can't see them, but they're all around us. And they're created naturally. And when we're in calming surroundings, such as the beach, the freshness of the air is caused by the vast amount of negative ions. They can even be found after thunderstorms. Negative ions are also found in natural materials such as chalk, and have been found to support deep sleep and help with digestion. If you live near a beach or an area with greenery and plants and are going for a walk, think about the negative ions around you. Exercise, even gentle exercise like walking, will help with not only your physical health but your emotional well-being, so it's worth considering how you can fit some exercise into your day.
If you are unable to get out at the minute and see people, a good way of remembering people that are special and important to us is by making memory jars. Memory jars are really simple and really good fun to make. You can make them with somebody that is really special to you, or you can get a jar and fill the jar with things that remind you of that special person. It could be items that remind you of them, or, as we spoke about before, it could be natural items, so things that have got the negative ions in them. So here is one that I have made. This is made out of salt. So we've got salt in there, which I emptied out onto just a bit of plain paper, and I got some different coloured chalk, and I pushed really hard on the salt, which gave the colour to the salt from the chalk. Each different coloured layer represents a different memory that I've got of my special person. Now, the jars, you can keep them for yourself, you can share them, you can swap them. If you have a look on page 35 of your booklets, there's some instructions of how to make a memory jar. Have a go.
So we've now come to the end of our 4th session in our Survival Guide to Change workshop series. We hope that you found what we looked at in this part really useful. We would advise before you move on to the 5th and final session in the series that you do take a look back throughout the booklet and at the strategies and things that we've suggested, and that you've got a real good solid understanding of this before you move forward. In the 5th and final session, we will be talking about other ways that you can cope with change and looking more at some positive coping strategies. So we really hope to see you there.
So thank you for joining us on session 4 of the Survival Guide to Change workshops. As Laura mentioned, we are going to be covering different coping strategies next week, and there are different workshops available in this series. So if you haven't already, please do take a look. Also, if you find relaxation and mindfulness techniques useful, you can also find links to some video clips which Healthy Minds Lincolnshire has created on our website. And finally, we really do appreciate your feedback. So if you could just take 2 minutes to click on the SurveyMonkey link, that would be amazing. Thanks, guys.